Do you own a performance bagger? Have you broken your belt yet? Well, with today's high-powered Milwaukee 8 engines, belt damage kind of comes with the territory. Today on EMP Cycle Works, I'm going to show you how I fix it with the chain drive kit. First step in this process is to remove the primary. I have other videos that I'm going to be coming out with showing you how to do that, so I'm not going to bore you with that here. And then you remove the locking plate bolts for the front sprocket here, and then take off the locking plate. And this nut helps to have an impact on to remove it. It can be kind of a pain. On this bike, it's got a crossover exhaust. We need to at least remove the left side pipe as well as the right side muffler. So here I am loosening up the heat shield and the mounting clamps, and then the bolts for the muffler, and then wiggle the muffler off. Now you can remove the whole exhaust. This was just seemed like it was easier. So I'm taking off the side cover here, so when I take off the brake, I don't have any risk of it damaging that side cover. So carefully remove the caliper, place it on a rag, and then we're gonna remove the rear wheel. So we start by breaking loose the axle. This bike has a PM axle adjuster on it. Pull the axle out, and then jack up the bike. And we want to disengage the belt from the rear pulley, as well as take off the brake bracket from the right hand side. And then once the bike's up high enough, we can pull out the rear wheel. And I'm going to set it on a trash can so I can use that as a soft table, and remove the cush drive. And then we're going to install our new cush drive here, along with the sprocket kit. Now we got this from Fuel Moto. They make really good stuff. I'd recommend checking them out for all your performance Harley needs. I get big bore kits from them all the time. So in here we need to support the engine separate from the frame. So that's what I'm doing here with the block of wood and my jack. And we're going to remove the swing arm. So we need to start by removing the left side swing arm pivot bracket, and then loosen up the right side bolt on the swing arm pivot shaft and pull it out through the left side. And then what I usually do is remove the lower bolt from the shock on the left side, so I can use the right side shock to kind of hold the swing arm, while I remove the belt from the front sprocket and then snake it past the swing arm and the frame here. Now I suppose you could cut this belt to save a step, but I always just like to kind of try to do it as the right way as possible. Here we go, putting the swing arm back in. Swing arm bearings tend to move, so sometimes you have to wiggle it to get it over the transmission. Now we take our cleaned axle and we're going to put anti-seize on it. This will prevent it from seizing up with the steel shaft and the aluminum transmission housing that this thing slides through. And then we just tap it in. And then the isolator has a little tab on it. We have to make sure that that tab goes in a certain way and it indexes into the isolator mounting bracket. And those bolts get blue Loctite. Zip them in evenly here. It's going to move the whole motor and transmission assembly, so we got to do it slowly. And then we torque them to 55 foot-pounds. Now on the other side of the bike, the spacer goes in over the axle, and then red Loctite on the nut, or the bolt I should say. And we run that in, and then we're going to torque this one as well to 55 foot-pounds. Can be kind of tricky to hold the other side and torque it, but with the rear wheel off, it kind of makes it easy. And yes, that was the dummy torque. I torqued it previously and just didn't video it. So now it's time to get the rear wheel in, so we're going to start by hooking up the shock back in. With these adjusters, I had to put the axle in before I torque the shock bolt. Now we're going to clean up while we're here, while the tire's off, make this bike look as nice as possible, especially getting our fingerprints off. And then the rear wheel can be installed. And now the rear wheel goes back in just like it would if there was a belt drive. I'm just gonna put the brake bracket on, and then same thing, clean this axle as well, and put anti-seize on it again to make removing it easier in the future. And then once we get the axle in, sometimes you have to adjust the height of the jack to get it just right. You don't want to just smash it through. And there it goes. And we're going to start the nut, just put it by hand. And what we want to do here, first step to set up the chain, is to move the axle as far forward as possible. We want to leave as much room to adjust the chain later on as it stretches. And then the front sprocket's going to go on. And now the good part, we're going to thread our chain starting from the back and going up to the front, and then around the front sprocket and back to the rear. Again, we want to make sure the tire is as far forward as possible. And I'm going to use a chain breaker to break the chain here. I ground down the rivet on the length that I'm going to remove, and this tool will just push out the pin. And you just got to remember that the master link is the outer link, so you don't want to cut it from the inner link. Once I get the tool removed, I'll show you here. And once that pin falls off, the chain will come off, and what we're left with is basically the outer link, so basically a master link, and this is what we're replacing. So we want to have an inner link left on the chain, and put our O-rings on with our chain lube that comes with the kit. Make sure that you lube up the O-rings really well, and the pivot shafts. And I kind of like to leave the chain on the sprocket so that it makes aligning the master link easy. And the same thing on this side, we have two O-rings that go on, and then the outer master link plate. And I apologize if my terminology is not correct on some of this stuff. And my tool here has a little adapter that I can press on the outer plate of the master link. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to go slowly. You can really screw up the master link, and I only have one that's red, so I don't want to mess this up. So I'll go a little bit, pull off my tool, and then look at it, make sure that everything's good, and then go and send it home. Basically, it's just you torque it, or not even torque it, you just put pressure on until it stops, and then no further. And once it stops, then, especially with these arcade chains, that's right where you need to be. And move the tool and inspect it, and I'm going to move it away from the sprocket here and make sure that it moves, it's not bound up. Sorry for my big head in the way. And then this tool also has a riveting tool attachment on it. And the same kind of thing goes for this too. You just go slowly. It's going to require a little bit of force to make the rivet here. So I'll go until I think it's good, then I'll look at it and be the judge. You want it to mushroom over pretty good, but you don't want to completely smash it to where it cracks or tears. And when you have a good chain, that's kind of hard to do, but if you're going crazy with it, you can definitely do that. And this is where I would recommend buying an RK chain or an EK chain. If you buy a cheap chain, then it's really easy to smash the master link and just make it unusable. And it's also really easy to press on the outer plate way too far, which would bind up the chain and just completely ruin the longevity of everything. Just ease into it. And then now it's time for the front sprocket. It's got a lock plate on, but I'd like to put a drop of red Loctite on it just to be safe. And I have a little nylon locking tool that I use to lock the chain in the sprocket. You can't do this with a belt, but with a chain, makes it really easy. And I usually torque this nut to 120 foot-pounds, just to make sure it doesn't come off. I'm going to set the chain tension about the same as you would on a belt, maybe slightly looser. Now remember, the axle is loose, so with the wheel all the way to the front, we can use that as a guide or a starting point. And we're going to go evenly from side to side based on flats. Now flats are just a term used. A 6-sided nut has 6 flats on it, so if we go 1 flat at a time, we can make proper adjustment evenly on both sides. And here I got my snap-on axle measuring tool, which is just a piece of welding wire with a zip tie on it. I measure from the center of the swing arm pivot shaft to just the front of the axle here, and I'll measure it on both sides, and then I'll just double check and make sure that I'm straight. Once I'm happy, I'm going to install the locking plate for the front sprocket here. The bolts that hold it in get blue Loctite and are torqued to 120 inch-pounds. Just install the primary and reinstall the exhaust and you are done. Thank you for joining me here on EMP CycleWorks. I hope you learned something here. If you liked the video, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out, and I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you.